There is a deep problem right now in American policymaking and media coverage of what's happening, is that there's a level of anti-Palestinian racism and dehumanization that can have real-life consequences. The coverage just is entirely devoid of any sense that Palestinians are human beings who are suffering decade after decade of Israeli occupation and apartheid. And unfortunately, when that rhetoric takes off to the extent that it has all over the media and by all these policymakers from wall to wall, we've seen this absolutely horrific and tragic incident in Chicago, where a young 6-year-old Palestinian boy was stabbed to death, and his mother was stabbed, but thankfully survived. This is a kind of horror that every person who engages in this kind of anti-Palestinian dehumanization, they've got blood on their hands, is the only thing that you can say. It is unacceptable. We should be beyond this. And we should remember that Palestinians are ultimately victims of decade after decade of Israeli oppression that the United States is responsible for, because the US government funds it with billions and billions in military equipment and with unconditional diplomatic support. What we need is not victim blaming. What we need is a fundamental shift in American policy, and to protect ultimately the future of every Palestinian and every Israeli who can live in peace, dignity, and harmony. If it were not for that system of illegal occupation and apartheid that denies Palestinians their fundamental right to live in freedom.